Story 1. We met in 1976, grade 11 for me and grade 10 for her. We married in 1979. It has been 49 years since we met and 46 years of marriage. We are still getting to know each other, but eventually the honeymoon phase will pass, I am sure. Until then, we are having a blast. Story 2. We started dating at 18 and are now 32. I do not regret it at all because we have grown together. We make each other better people. Story 3. My husband, aged 45, and I, also 45, started dating when we were 16. It was love at first sight. After graduation, I went away for college while he stayed home, worked, and moved around a little with his nomadic father. Despite the distance, we did not break up. Long distance was a hard test for us, but we stayed strong. We talked on the phone, wrote letters, and saw each other as often as we could. We married at 22, had our first baby at 23, and twins at 26. Now, with an empty nest, our kids have grown into amazing young adults. We are still as in love as when we were young, even happier now, enjoying a slower-paced life with time to reflect on the beauty of a long, happy marriage and 3 happy, healthy, well-adjusted adult children. Story 4. Not me, but my sister married her high school sweetheart. They have been together for almost 17 years now. There were rough patches, career shifts, children, and moving cities, but they have built a solid life together. She says the key was growing with each other, not apart. No major regrets, just lessons and a lot of patience. Story 5. I was impressed that many high school sweethearts from my school were still together 25 years later. However, in the last 5 years, many of them have gotten divorced, often in messy ways. It seemed a few couples stayed together until their children graduated from high school, then separated and divorced. Some divorces were surprising, and some relationships lasted longer than I expected. Story 6. I married a woman from my high school friend group. We started dating in college and got married right after we graduated. We were each other's first everything. We have been married 23 years and have 3 children together. I feel very lucky and fortunate that we are still so happy together and also have an active sex life. I would say it is going very well. In fact, we just saw a movie together tonight at the theater. She put the divider armrest up and we held hands. Story 7. Married my high school boyfriend. Got together when we were 17 and 18. We are 35 and 36 now. Could not imagine life without him. He is my best friend and the best human I have ever met. I am so lucky to have him and thankful to never have to navigate being a single adult. Story 8. My husband and I, age 34 and 33, have been together since we were 15 and got married at 28 and 27. He always jokes that he would have married me right after we graduated high school at 18, but I told him I did not want to be married until we were fully done with school and completely paying our own bills without relying on our parents. So we went to undergraduate school, then he graduated law school, took the bar exam that summer, and proposed to me the very next week. I feel extremely lucky because we have been so in love and happy the entire time. Like insanely in love. It sometimes makes me laugh at how much I love him and feel loved by him. We are in the process now of trying for a baby, and it has been strangely thrilling in the sense that we have a new thing to experience together. I think that has been the best part. We have grown and changed a lot since we were teens, but I get excited to be doing something new or having a new adventure side by side with him. Sometimes it is that he has a big change happening that I am supporting him through, and sometimes the other way around. I have 0 regrets, and the way he looks at me and tells me how he feels about me, I honestly trust he has no regrets either. If anything, I sometimes get anxious at the idea of losing him to health issues or an accident, perhaps because we found each other so early in life that the universe might decide to take him away. Story 9. 33 years happily married, 2 children, 1 grandchild. He is currently sitting on the sofa across from me, giggling at YouTube videos. Haha. Dad, I told you we were in love. Story 10. Started dating at 17 and 16, married at 24. In November, we will have been together 23 years and married for 15 years. We have been incredibly lucky in life. I am thankful to be married to someone I know so well. Even with that, marriage is still work. I choose to do life with them every day. Story 11. Not quite high school sweethearts, but we met when I was 20 and she was 18 on a blind date. I was at her high school graduation. We have been married for 28 years and together for 30. No regrets. We are best friends, have an amazing sex life, and enjoy every day. Story 12. Going great. We celebrated 11 years in March and have absolutely zero regrets. I am very thankful for my marriage and for the chance to grow and live with my best friend. Story 13. 44 years this July. No regrets other than I probably should have finished college. But it all worked out anyway. Story 14. Love her to death. I would give my life in a second for her. She is truly the best thing that ever happened to me. The key is to never stop dating. Not everything has to be serious all the time, but know when things do need to be serious. And remember, you were best friends before you were lovers. I seriously love my wife more than life itself. I can never tell her enough. We met when we were 13. Both are 27 now. Story 15. Struggling to be honest. We are great friends and partners, but have never been romantic or compatible sexually. We have been celibate for the last 2 years. I have been strongly considering divorce. Story 16. My class did not have many high school sweethearts who stayed together. However, several people who did not date in high school met up years later after college or life events or moving away and somehow got together. Many got married and remained married. I am one of them. I married a man I did not date in high school but had been friends with about 15 years later, after a lot of solo life experiences. Story 17. Not quite high school sweethearts. I did not meet her until I was 19, but her aunt was my high school teacher, and we were both in school together, if that is good enough. I proposed at 19, married at 21, and I am turning 50 in a couple of weeks. Still together with absolutely no regrets. Story 18. I married my high school sweetheart. We were together for about 20 years when we divorced. I absolutely do not regret it. We have 2 wonderful children who mean everything to both of us. We had difficult times and had to overcome a lot, but we are still very close. I know I can depend on him and his new wife for anything. He and my boyfriend are becoming good friends. They are brewing beer for my sister's wedding this weekend. We did not work out as a couple, but I would not choose anyone else to share this journey with. Story 19. Started dating at 14 and 17. 24 years later, it is still going amazing. Life is not perfect, but we navigate it together and know we will always work it out. Best friends, we still spend hours talking, have weekly date nights, and do it all. Story 20. Husband, age 31, and I, age 32, met in 2008 and started dating in 2010. We are each other's first everything. We are also best friends and have watched each other grow up and mature. We currently have a baby on the way and could not be happier. I love him so much. Story 21. He was our paper boy and lived on the same street. Married at 18 and 21. 56 years later, it feels like we married just a few short years ago. Seriously, time has absolutely flown by. No regrets. Story 22. Going great. Married for 19 years. Together for 26. We still get along, but we do not have much to talk about. That said, we do not mind silence and love each other. Story 23. Started dating senior year of high school. Married the year we graduated college. Married for 10 years before having our one and only child. She is almost 8 now, and the marriage is still going strong. Story 24. Started dating when I was 16, dated for a few years, then married. We are having our 10th anniversary next month. Our relationship is great. No regrets. Story 25. I was a senior when we met. He had just graduated from high school. I took him to my prom. We married 10 years later and are still together 25 years later. There have been ups and downs, but I am not ready to give up on him. Story 26. Started at 16, now 29. He knows everything, good or bad. I regret lacking transparency in our teenage years, but it is something that shaped me into who I am now. I cannot say I would change it, though. Some lessons are best taught by living through them. The only negative I can say about my husband is that he never loads the dishwasher, so I would say we are doing pretty well. It is not easy, though. You have to go through so much change. He lost his grandfather, and I have seen him lose pieces of himself. I had major postpartum depression, and my husband saw the darkest version of me. I was very lost during that time. It is easy to point fingers and think others are the problem. In a marriage, everything becomes a joint problem. Working as a team and being each other's best friend is the only way. Story 27. I fell head over heels for my husband when we met at 15 and 16 at school. We had a rocky few years in the beginning but got engaged when I was 21 and married when I was 22. He was my first and only person I have had intimate relations with, and I think our intimate life is great. We have been married for 32 years and I am still madly in love with him. He is my best friend and soulmate, and I am grateful every day that we are together. Story 28. Divorced at 33. I kept waiting for him to grow up, but it never happened. There were also other issues. We were simply not compatible and too immature to decide to get married. Story 29. Met her in 11th grade, my first true love and heartbreak. We reconnected 16 years later and got married. I thought it was a big win because of how great it was. First love and all. Big mistake. I wasted a dozen years. We had broken up all those years ago for reasons that never went away. It was only fantasy to think we could go back. You cannot go back. What is done is done. There is no need to cut people out of your life, but I advise against glorifying a past love or trying to rekindle it. I could have done much better and been happier. Instead, I squandered a big part of my prime years going through the same difficult learning curve I had already experienced the first time. It is painful. Do not do it. It is a cop-out to retrace your steps. Life is meant to move forward. Story 30. My ex, who probably is not here, married his high school sweetheart. They broke up in or shortly after high school and both dated other people for a while before finding themselves drawn back together several years later. They seem to be very happy together almost 20 years later. Story 31. We met and started dating in senior year. I was 17 years old and female. We married when I was 20 and divorced when I was 27. We still text each other once in a while, mostly memes or talking about mutual friends or family. We were always really good friends. I don't have any regrets. We needed each other when we were young, growing up in a small rural town feeling like no one truly understood us. We just grew apart as we became adults. And that desperate need for each other disappeared as we found friends and discovered where we fit into the universe. Also, if I had never left, I wouldn't be where I am now, and I am very happy where I am now. Story 32. It's going great. We, a 29-year-old female and a 29-year-old male, became good friends during our junior year of high school and started dating shortly after graduating. We have been together for 11 years and married for 7. I know how lucky we are to have grown throughout our 20s and the pandemic together and come out stronger in the end, although that definitely had its challenges. We are best friends, travel partners, and proud owners of a couple of huskies, with no plans for human children. An absolute dream. Story 33. Terrible choice. It turns out she was an emotionally abusive, narcissistic sex addict, and 16-year-old me was a poor judge of character. I love my kids, but if I could choose a random other woman to be their mother, I would take that chance. There are many silver linings. Going through divorce has shaped me into the person I am today, and I am proud of who I am. We were involved in the swing scene for a while before the divorce, and I can confidently say I have experienced things most people never will, and I am grateful for that. Most importantly, by leaving that relationship, I have been able to reconnect with my family, start mending neglected relationships, and build a beautiful marriage with someone far better suited for me, who is also the best stepmother I could imagine for my children. Went out in 8th grade, then resumed the relationship in sophomore year. Married at 24, divorced at 33. Story 34. Started dating at 16, graduated, got engaged, then married 2 years later. We were purposeful virgins until our wedding night for religious reasons and had some premarital counseling. We had significant issues that came to a head about 3 years in, separated a few times, then finally divorced a few years after that. No children, thankfully. The divorce was rough, but now I bear her no ill will, and to my knowledge, there is no active conflict between us. It is good that we divorced, the best choice for everyone involved, even if I had a very hard time accepting it at first. I remarried my current husband about 4 years later, and we are still married. My former spouse divorced her second wife and seems to be happily dating casually. Story 35. Married at 18 or 19, now 27 years later, she cheated on me. There were no obvious problems. Things were calm with a good family life. I found out recently and am not feeling great about it. I regret it, but I would do it again. We have 2 awesome kids, dogs, equity, and many good memories. However, seriously, waiting until later might have avoided the midlife crisis and the allure of the unfamiliar. Forget my life. Story 36. Met at 16 and 18, married at 23 and 25, just recently turned 31 and 33, and we are about to have our first child. Still very much in love. As much as I hear people criticizing the idea of marrying their high school sweetheart, it has been great for us. We grew into adulthood together, learning how to maintain a house, split finances, and be adults as a team. We also had plenty of time to enjoy life as just the 2 of us. We took many vacations, traveled the country and the world, and felt like we explored every option before deciding it was time for kids at 30 and 32, which is still relatively young in New England. In contrast, our friends in their early 30s entering serious relationships seem to rush to get engaged, buy a house, marry, and have children if that is their goal. We have watched many close friends struggle to merge lifestyles because after 30 people have established ways of doing things. It is harder to switch from an individual to a married or team mindset regarding household duties and finances. Some friends say they wish they had more time to enjoy married life but worry about the biological clock for children. Getting together that young meant we had no past relationship baggage, aside from minor high school issues that seem insignificant now. There were no difficult exes to deal with or life-altering breakup trauma. In college, some questioned whether I missed out by never having one-night stands or wild stories about hooking up with other people. Honestly, sitting on the sidelines and watching those experiences unfold, I do not think I missed anything worthwhile. What we have now is much better. My single friends who are still dating say it is tough out there, and I believe it. I feel like I won the lottery with my husband. What happened with us has worked out well, and I cannot imagine it any other way. Neither of us have regrets. Story 37. Just celebrated 17 years of marriage. We have been together for more than 25 years. We have amazing children and an incredible life, and he is still my favorite person to see every day. He snores and has questionable taste in music, but no one is perfect. Story 38. We just welcomed our first baby girl to the world. My spouse is my best friend and my soulmate, and I love growing into parenthood with him. I regret that we struggled so much in the beginning, since neither of us knew what a healthy relationship looked like. But I am very thankful that we stuck it out and learned together. Story 39. Met when we were 17, married at 20, 2 children before 29. We had ups and downs, then very difficult times. I was growing, but did not see maturity and growth from my partner. There were many issues and dishonesty from my partner. We separated secretly but lived together for the children. It was a living hell for 2 years. There was a glimmer of hope, but I remained skeptical. No intimacy for 4 years. I have no idea how it will play out or what will happen in the end. I regret marrying so young. Neither of us was mature or ready for it. Story 40. Married at 21 with 2 children. A 6-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. I have known her since we were 15. We started dating during our last year of high school and got married 3 years later. We enjoyed our time together before becoming parents and both agreed to have children. Now that we are parenting, we need to sneak around a bit, which is fun since the kids are small. Once the children leave the nest, we plan to continue enjoying each other's company. We agreed that if there is a next life, we will do this again. Story 41. Started dating at 16. Married at 26. We are in our 50s now. He is sitting next to me right now. We have 0 regrets. Story 42. Yes, dating since high school on and off in ninth grade and 11th grade, then married at 19. Almost 14 years in 6 months. 2 kids, my world. Story 43, we are getting a divorce. He surprised me a few days after my birthday while I was making dinner. He tried to lowball me by $50,000 and told me not to get a lawyer. I do not regret the whole thing, but I wish that when I noticed issues arising, we had gone to counseling. I am 26. Story 44, no regrets. Dated at 17 and 18, married at 22 and 23. Coming up on our 16-year anniversary, but we have been together for 21 years. We have 3 children and a strong, intimate relationship. Life is not always easy, but we have grown together and support each other. We both have different hobbies, so we do not do everything together, but we are a good team. Sometimes I wonder if I missed out on my 20s, living with roommates, going on first dates, but I have no regrets that we chose each other early on. I have never had any interest in exploring other options. I am also very happy to have missed out on the misery that seems to come with online dating. Story 45. To make a long story short, I went to a small, underfunded Christian school. During my sophomore year, she joined my school. We fell for each other and kissed behind the gym. I wrote her a love letter, but her unstable mother found it. She was withdrawn from the school that same year, and we did not see or talk to each other again until after high school. We just celebrated our 12th anniversary. She is the love of my life and my best friend. I could not ask for a more amazing person to share my life with. I still cannot believe she is my wife. Story 46. We got married when she was 19 and I was 20. We have been together for 17 years. Our marriage had its ups and downs in the beginning, but we worked through it. We are a team, and I do not want to let my teammate down. I wish I had put in more effort sooner, but everything is great now. I sent flowers to her workplace for no special occasion yesterday, and we try to have a date night every 2 or 3 weeks. The secret to a healthy marriage is to always work on it, and if it is good, it does not feel like work. Story 47. It's better than ever, over 22 years in. We married right after we both graduated high school, if you can believe that. Best decision I have ever made, no regrets, even though it was very hard at first being kids figuring out how to be adults and spouses at the same time. We are living our dream and have grown together, never apart. Story 48. Met at ages 16 and 17, we were each other's firsts. We have been together since ages 18 and 19 and got married last year. We are now 28 and 29. Story 49. Not high school, but right after. I met my husband at 19. So far, we have been together for 17 years and married for 9 years with 3 wonderful children, which is quite early for marriage, but so far, it has been brilliant. We are very much still in love and happy. I cannot imagine my life without him. Story 50. I have friends who started dating in high school and got married. Now they are in a miserable, loveless, boring, sexless marriage, but neither of them will call it quits because they are afraid of disappointing their parents. It is foolish. It is as if they have decided to be unhappy until they die. Of course, they have not decided that together because they do not communicate. Story 51. I met my high school sweetheart when I was 15. He was my first everything and taught me so much. How to kiss, how to love, and how the United States tackled Reconstruction after the Civil War. We would have been together for 19 years if it were not for state laws and my parents. Story 52. I married my high school sweetheart, and we tried, but the marriage only lasted 4 years. Both of us learned lessons that made our second marriages work better. If asked, I would still count him as a friend more than 20 years later. Story 53. Celebrating 25 years together. Met at 17, married at 21, and had 2 children before 25. Has it been roses the entire time? No. Has it been absolute hell either? Also no. We have been through struggles a few times and supported each other through difficult moments that the other could not relate to but simply held each other in love through those trials. When you are with someone from an early age, you basically grow up together. There is rarely a time when you discover unexpected things about the other, except she just learned last month that I really enjoy cottage cheese. We also know a couple who have celebrated 67 years of marriage this year. Story 54. Been together since high school. Married now for 18 years. Together for 25. Still going strong. We still date and do everything together. We have learned about life together. She is my best friend. Story 55. There were 4 couples in our friend group, all married shortly after high school. My ex and I divorced after being married for 2 years and together for 10 years in total. The other 3 couples are still married. One is very happy and still in love. Another is fine. They have had some ups and downs but seem to be doing well. However, the last couple openly say they are waiting and counting down the days until their youngest graduates next year to get divorced. They should have split up years ago. I think they genuinely hate and resent each other. A couple of years after getting divorced, I met my husband and couldn't be happier. My ex met his wife around the same time, and they are very happy. In the end, we all ended up in the right place with the right person, just not together. Story 56. Married for 10 years. I was 18 and they were 20. We have a few children together. We have faced a lot of challenges over the years and have worked through them. We have both changed dramatically as individuals and partners. As of now, they are my best friend, and I love spending time with them, but I have lost romantic attraction. They say they still have the same type of love, but I question it. I honestly think about whether we would be better off as best friends. I am not inherently unhappy. Life and our personalities have evolved to the point of close friendship but not compatibility in other aspects. Story 57. Went to prom as friends, and he asked me to be his girlfriend at the end of the night. We have been together for 16 years and married for 7 years. He is my best friend. Our relationship has always been stable, but the first year of marriage was hard. Thank God we got through it. After we had our daughter, we went through a roommate phase but recently started getting our groove back. I think it is a lot of work, but I am happy we are figuring it out together. Story 58. My wife, age 35, and I, age 34, met the summer before our senior year of high school and have been together since. We survived long-distance college and now have 3 beautiful children. We love each other's company more than ever, and I have no complaints. Story 59. We met in middle school online playing video games. We kept in touch throughout middle school and high school, FaceTiming and messaging all the time. We finally made it official in 2018, moved in together, got married in 2020, and he just asked for a divorce last month. I do not regret any of it. I still love him dearly, but sadly he does not feel the same. Story 60. Started dating at 17, married at 25, and still going strong at 41. I would do it all again in a heartbeat. No regrets, even through the tough times. Story 61. Been married for 21 years, together for 26. Age 40 female and 41 male. Absolutely no regrets. Had children young as well and will be empty nesters in the next 5 years. We are looking forward to our next chapter of travel and loud intimacy without any children to hear. Story 62. 25 years in and 0 regrets. We have both changed since then, but we changed together. Story 63. Met in high school but started dating in college. 15 years married next week. 10 out of 10 experience, highly recommend. We are not at all the same people we were when we started dating, and I find that key, always changing and growing but doing it together. Story 64. Married a man from my high school friend group as well. We started dating after high school. No regrets. I absolutely love him. He is a wonderful father too. Story 65. We are happily married but not easily so. We, both age 32, have been friends for half our lives. We started dating in our first year of college, maintained a long-distance relationship for a few years, and have been married for the past 6 years. We are still learning new things about ourselves and each other. We started going to counseling to work through some personal challenges. It still requires significant effort. This still surprises me, and intentional communication, which may sound cliched, but I would do it all over again. Story 66. High school sophomore, age 15, and high school senior, age 17. dated for 7 years throughout the rest of high school, and were apart at 2 different colleges. They married in 2005 before graduate school. They have 2 wonderful children, ages 12 and 16. Together for 27 years, they only have hopes and dreams to see the next 30 years side by side. It requires a lot of work, communication, empathy, and desire. They are each other's best friends and partners. They grew separately but together over 27 years, searching for similar things and always finding what they needed in each other. He loves her with all that he is and recognizes how much he needs her to be the man he wants to be. Story 67. Started dating my husband at 16, engaged at 20, married at 22. We have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old. It has been 18 years, and I am so grateful every day that it is him, my best friend, my lover, my everything. We are not religious or anything, just to add. Story 68. I have been with my husband since I was 19 and he was almost 19. We have known each other since preschool. Our fathers were very good friends. My father died when I was very young. We were very good friends for years, which is why I think our relationship works so well. He is my best friend. This year marks 16 years together, and he is the best father. Story 69. Technically, we had just graduated high school. I was 17 and he was 18. We got married at 27 and are now 35 and 36. We had our son when we were 31 and 32. No regrets. We are closer than ever right now, after having our son and getting through those early years. Story 70. We started dating at 17 and have been together for over a decade. I still feel like I am the luckiest person in the world for finding my best friend so early and being able to experience the rest of my life with her. My parents were also high school sweethearts and are still going strong, so maybe that luck is hereditary. I do think that meeting your life partner so young is an advantage in some ways. You meet while life is still fairly uncomplicated. When it gets harder and more complex, you grow through the changes together. Story 71. Started dating when I was a senior and he was a sophomore. We got married 5 years later. It has now been 20 years since we started dating, and 15 years this Thursday since we got married. We are still in love despite the normal ups and downs that can be expected in marriage. We have had a fun and happy life together so far. Story 72. Going pretty great. Together since senior year, married at 22. Now we have been together for over 10 years with a few children. Story 73. Met at 12. Married at 18. Lived out our marriage vows. 55 years together. 49 years married. Miss him terribly. 3 years gone. Story 74. Dated at 18. Married at 22. Still together at 30. It has had its ups and downs, but I think that has helped make things stronger for us. We have experienced cancer scares, loss of mobility, endometriosis, and more. I have stuck by her, and she sticks by me. I think the 2 biggest things that help or came from that are trust and communication. That said, it is not all serious. We snuggle, share silly jokes from years ago, and go out on dates and adventures. Exploring the city is an adventure for me. I know my life is great right now, and things will not always be that way. I just want to make sure I appreciate everything I have now so that down the line I will not regret anything whenever life changes. Story 75. Dating since 2007. Married in 2010. We have a 15-year-old and a 12-year-old. We have been through 2 military deployments and moved to a new state. He is still my best friend in the whole world. We laugh hard, play hard, and love harder. Story 76. We liked each other in high school but started seriously dating at 18. We have been together longer than the time since we first met at 13 years old. 18 years together and 10 years married. We have a child now too. Regrets? Not really. You don't have to look for another person when you find the one you want. She never gave me a reason to doubt, and neither did I. We learned to communicate early in the relationship and are big on compromise. I can't imagine life without her and am terrified of the thought of not being with her until I die. Story 77. We married right out of high school. Now in our mid-50s, he has not changed at all. Literally the same weight, same appearance, same hair. You could not tell from two pictures which is then and which is now. Also, the same friends, same interests, just as foolish, still smoking marijuana and playing video games, still no job. He has never worked. I am now a 55-year-old woman married to an 18-year-old man-child. Story 78. I lived in a shared house with a man who met and dated the love of his life in high school. They were a good Christian couple and got married at 18. They separated by 21, and I moved in when she left. They divorced by 22, so it does not always work out. Story 79. Met my 31-year-old wife, who is 30, when we were both 13. We stayed together through school and tertiary education and moved back home together. We have been married for 2 years now. No regrets at all, apart from making her wait so long. Story 80. It is not going great, to be honest. 18 years together, 8 married, and we are on the verge of separation, or rather, continuing to live together as roommates and co-parent our 5-year-old. Why? Because I recently came out to him as transgender and he is heterosexual. We still love each other very much, but we now know we have an expiration date, which is when I start to medically transition. I would not exactly call it a regret, but I certainly would have figured that all out a lot sooner if I had not existed in relation to my husband for all my formative years. Like not pursuing all those thoughts further because he was already there. We were already a couple, and I was not ready to give that up. But these things have a way of catching up to you at some point, I guess. Story 81. I don't even talk to people from high school. Of the 2 ex-partners, one of them ended up moving to Spain and becoming a nun. The other married and divorced because she wanted children. Last I heard, several years ago, she was happily married with children. Story 82. I never married mine. We were together for a long time, like 6 years. We had known each other all our lives. But he was looking for something else in a partner. He found her. I am so glad it didn't happen because we would have been a disaster together. Story 83. Married for 30 years. Everyone tells us our love is inspiring. I suspect we actually make them sick. We do not care. Story 84. Honestly, it is amazing when you grow and evolve together, but it takes work. No regrets here because the shared history really helps through tough times. Story 85. We have only been married for 5 years, but we started dating when I was 14 and he was 15. 20 years later, we have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. There were some challenging years in our early 20s and during the early months with the children, but we are solid. It is amazing when you have been with someone longer than you have been apart. Story 86. We dated at 17 for a month. Then he left me because I wouldn't have sex. At 18, he came back. Shortly after, my dad died. He was there. We became sexually active and I got pregnant. I had to move across the country to live with my mom since my dad was gone. He came with me since he was the father. It all went poorly. He got into drugs 2 to 3 years in, then got clean again but caused a lot of financial issues. 10 years in, he had a full affair and completely moved out into a new place with the girl next door. Then she left him and he came back only for me to find him talking to 2 others on Facebook. Who knows how many I never knew about before. After that, he seemed to clean up but was constantly picking fights with me. COVID nearly killed me with a pulmonary embolism. As I sat in the hospital facing my end, I realized I had lived a life of misery. When I got out, he was happy, relieved, and loved me more than ever. However, I was done and I left. Now I'm 41. We're divorced. I'm truly in love with someone else. I don't know if I have regrets. I kind of do because it was an unhappy time and that was my youth. But it put me where I am now. I guess there are a lot of missed opportunities for something better and for more enjoyment. Story 87. We met at 17 and 18. I was a junior and he was a senior. We connected and fell in love very quickly. We got engaged after 6 months and married at 9 months. I was still in high school. It has been 17 years since then. We have a 10-year-old who is the coolest kid. My husband is my best friend. He is goofy, kind, and hardworking for our family. It has been a wonderful experience. I would marry him all over again if I could. Story 88. Started dating at 14, married at 26, had our first baby at 34, and still going strong at 36. He is my best friend, my soulmate, my twin flame. Honestly, I wish if there are more lifetimes, we find each other in every one of them. Story 89. We met when I was a freshman and he was a senior in high school. We married 5 years later and have been married over 40 years with 2 children. Both retired early and just returned from 3 weeks together in Europe. We are planning our next trip. Story 90. We are still young at 29 years old and have only been married for a bit over a year, but it has been an amazing 12 years since we first met in school. I feel really lucky that we have grown together in compatible ways when it is much more common to grow apart. I could not imagine life without him. Story 91. Started dating at 15 or 16, got married at 22 or 23, and are now 33, with my husband turning 34 later this year. Marriage is good. We both grew up in abusive, neglectful, and chaotic households and wanted more than to continue that cycle, which is why I think we were drawn to each other in the first place. I credit my husband as being my first form of stability. He has supported me no matter what, and I have supported him as well. We have built a stable and healthy life together. I have no regrets. Story 92. While we did not go to high school together, we started dating a few months before I graduated. We began dating in March 2005 at ages 18 and 21. We got engaged in August 2005, had our first child in July 2006, married in September 2006, and had our second child in April 2009. We have now been together for over 20 years and will be celebrating our 19th wedding anniversary soon. We have been through quite a lot with major health issues, moves, financial challenges, and more. However, I believe we have improved over time in communicating, resolving problems, and supporting each other. Story 93. My wife and I are high school sweethearts. We spent 4 years in a long-distance relationship when she went to college and I joined the military. This was before video calls and texting. We have been married for over 30 years and together for almost 40. I would not change anything. She is still the love of my life. Story 94. We met in high school and finally got married last year after 14 happy years. I would not change her for the world. Story 95. My husband and I met in 1997. He was my best friend. We worked together and spent a lot of time together. We officially became a couple in 2000, married in the mid-2000s, and had our son a few years later. We are still together and happy. There have been difficult times, but we always pulled through. At the end of the day, I do not need him in my life. I want him in it. I believe this is an important distinction for happiness in a relationship. We have grown together and supported each other through the best and worst times. When it comes down to it, no one makes me laugh like he does. No one makes me feel safe like he does. When he says my name, I know that I am seen, valued, and considered precious. Story 96. Not married yet. Together for 18 years after getting together at 14. 2 kids later, maybe we will get married for our 20th anniversary. I just didn't want to spend money on it, to be honest. Not a single regret. Best friend in the world. There are ups and downs when you are literally growing with someone and changing along the way, but honesty is key. I don't know how I would ever live without him. Story 97. Not married but together since we were 15, and we are both 45 this year. No regrets. It has been up and down, never anything serious, but we are more in love than ever. We are each other's support in life, and our combined memories since our teens bring us so much joy. We still make each other laugh a lot, but here is the crazy thing. We are terrible at finishing fights. We just don't and kind of move on. Over the years, we have gotten better at improving and talking about how important our relationship is to us and the children. Story 98. I married my high school sweetheart at 28, after first dating at 16. We had many years in the middle where we were on and off, and we each dated several people in between. We never lost touch, however, and despite the difficulty of all that, I would not have it any other way. We both got to experience other people and then consciously made the choice that what we had together was what we wanted. We have been married for 7 years now and have 2 children, and I am so happy we are together. Story 99. Started at 16, married at 20. Been 21 years and I love him more every day. We have 3 kids, mid-teen and younger, and they are genuinely great humans. I feel like I won the lottery every single day. Story 100. Met 14 years ago as high school juniors. Everyone initially assumed we would not stay together because we were so young. We waited 11 years to get married but dated consistently while attending different colleges and then living together in 2 different states. Our marriage is wonderful. Being together since high school is special because we have both changed and grown so much over the course of our relationship. We have had to be very supportive and flexible. We are a great team and have experienced so much together. We also both truly understand where the other person comes from, how our families and lives have changed over time. It is a blessing and an immense privilege to have been together for so long. It also comes with a solid sense of security, and it is fun to know someone so well and so deeply. Very happy. Story 101. I am not one, but I know 3 high school sweetheart couples. We are in the middle to younger end of the millennial spectrum, and all are still together. Story 102. Started dating at 15, got married in our mid-20s, and are now in our mid-30s with 2 young children. We have officially been together for more years of our lives than not. He is my best friend. We have grown up together. And we still have so much fun every single day. Sometimes I look at him and think, our 15-year-old selves would be so proud of us. I would not change a single thing. One thing that helped was that we went to college over 1,000 miles apart and did long distance during those years. It was hard, but it taught us both how to be our own person, make our own friends, and trust each other deeply. It also made us value every minute we get to spend together. I am not sure our marriage would be as strong today without those years. Story 103. 4 of my siblings married their high school sweethearts. Mark and Cindy have been together for 35 years, Nathan and Cara for 30 years, Matt and Jennifer for 22 years. Sarah and Tom were together for 3 years before divorcing. Then Sarah married David, another hometown girl, and that lasted about 5 years. Our parents will be celebrating 60 years next year. Story 104. Together for 18 years, married for 12 this year. Overall, we are doing well. We have 2 young children and are in couples therapy to work on our relationship, as it has been neglected while focusing on the kids. I enjoy my time with him when it is just the 2 of us. However, being parents first has definitely strained our relationship. We do not have time to be alone and reconnect, and we cannot really afford babysitters or rely on much family help. Story 105. Not me, but my sister married her high school sweetheart. They did not live together until after she graduated from college. He proposed the first night they lived together and started cheating shortly after. Could have been earlier, but this was the earliest confirmed. 20 years and a son later, she finally left him. Story 106. TL. Dr. We divorced after 10 years together because he was abusive. We both have separate families now. I only regret not leaving sooner. Long version. Met at age 15, started dating when I was 17. Married at 22. Divorced at 27. Once we married, he let the mask drop. Turns out he was a sociopath, and I mean that literally, not in the "he was so mean to me" way. He even told me calmly one night that he suspected he was one and that he did not feel feelings like other people seemed to. He would regularly talk calmly about gruesome ways he wanted people, including children, to die because they expressed views that did not align with his own and therefore were useless to the world. He became more extremist in his views until his controlling and abusive nature emerged. He remarried about a year after our divorce and remains married to her. They have 2 kids and, due to his profession, they are very wealthy. I sometimes worry about them because many of the beliefs he expressed to me would make for a hellish house to grow a family in. Meanwhile, I remarried about 4 years later, have 1 child and another on the way. I am not rich like he is materially, but knowing who he is, I regret nothing. If anything, I wish I had left sooner to save myself the therapy, complex post-traumatic stress disorder diagnosis from the abuse, and other struggles. Yes, all parts of my life brought me to where I am now, but I wish I had not been utterly broken and then struggled to put all my pieces back together to get here. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.